Are we living in a caste system or something? I mean, first class seats, toll roads that only rich people can afford, and now they're going to get preferential treatment on the internet as well. I mean, the internet belongs to everybody, right? Surely there are no good reasons against net neutrality. Surely this is just the rich trying to get ahead even more, right? Well, let's consider.
I can't get it off my mind.
Hello, philosophers. I'm Chico. Welcome to the Philosopher's World, where we take a philosopher's perspective on current events. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to show you how to think. All right. As a brief review, we said that the FCC's job, and this is again very simplified, one of the jobs is to expand the internet. In 2015, they rolled out these rules, net neutrality, these rules they've been called, where ISPs, internet service providers, guys like Comcast and at&t are not allowed to block or slow websites based on content, as long as it's legal, and they're not allowed to charge you extra so your internet will be faster. In 2017, a few weeks ago, the FCC repealed those rules, and they are now waiting for Congress to decide should they be repealed or should we keep those rules. By the way, you may have noticed I didn't mention which political party did what, and I did that on purpose, right? I'm hoping that we can look at this without worrying about Republican, Democrat, and try to see what we think is the best policy. Personally, I'm not Republican or Democrat, so I don't have a party affiliation. I'm not saying that like I'm above a party affiliations. I don't happen to have one. So yeah, I'm not trying to sway you one way or another. All right, the first argument that the repeal net neutrality guys give is that it is a solution in search of a problem. There was nothing wrong with the internet before 2015, before we rolled out these net neutrality rules, and there's no reason to roll them out. So remember, the philosophical underpinnings of this view say that we should have as few regulations on the economy as possible. If you don't remember why that is, I suggest go ahead and go back, check out that video again, the first video in the series, and I explain it there. So we have these regulations that are coming out of nowhere. Why would we have these regulations? And an objection to this argument would be that, well, these rules were meant to be proactive, right? The internet is constantly changing. So we need to be a step ahead of these businesses that are going to try to take advantage of us. Again, philosophical underpinnings, don't trust big business, right? But the response to that objection is that, oh yeah, you're right, the internet's totally changing all the time, right? So how can you tell how it's going to change? How can you come up with these rules? Let's wait till we find out how it's going to change, and then we can make rules if it's absolutely necessary. A second objection to these rules is that what is being asked for here by repealing these rules is that we react after damage has already been done, rather than stop the damage before it's done. And that seems like, these little piecemeal, like we'll take it up in front of courts and stuff like that. Well, look, the little guy can't afford to take this in front of a court, right? Why not just have rules already ready so that we don't have to worry about stuff like that? So sure, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it. What? That's my wife in the back that's laughing at me. Yeah. Thanks, Mariah. No, just joke. So if it ain't fixed, how's that go? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it could get broke pretty quickly, right? All right. Argument 2, it stifles innovation. Maybe there is some super fast technology waiting to be discovered that if we could offer packages, let's say that were just like small packages of just a few websites, you could get it for like $1 a month or $1 a year. Let's say something crazy like that, right? This technology is just out there waiting to happen. But since we've got all these rules in place, there's no reason for these ISPs to even research stuff like that. So we have arbitrary rules. They're stifling innovation. We're hurting the economy, and the economy, remember, in this perspective, is really, really important. It's where all the good stuff that we want comes from. So let's get rid of these rules that don't have any basis in the first place. All right, and finally, a big argument on this side is that this isn't the FCC's job. The FCC's job is to expand the internet for national defense, for safety of life, and for, I think, safety of property, something like that. But definitely not to worry about trade and commerce and stuff like that, right? That's not their job. If you're worried about trade, the FTC is your guy. You want to go to the Federal Trade Commission, and their job is to protect the consumer and stuff like that, right? And so this is in the wrong place. An objection to that would be that the FTC has done a really poor job of protecting the consumer. Their job, as they see it, is just to make sure that the consumer is not deceived in any way. So they did step in at certain times when there were caps on data that nobody was disclosing. The FTC said, no, you're not allowed to do that. You have to tell us everything. But the FTC is not going to step in when it comes to these ISPs who want to give us, this stratified internet service. Again, this perspective, respond, yeah, okay, but the ISPs are allowed to, right? It's totally fair. You may not like it, but the Federal Trade Commission will step in when it's not fair, and this is fair. This perspective, the keep the net neutrality perspective, will say that no, it is unfair because we all own this internet, right? It comes from us, and these guys are just getting it to us. So now I hope you see the different arguments for and against. I hope I've made them as reasonable as possible. Again, check the Philosurfer.com if you have other arguments that you think are important. I promise you, I'm going to do my best to make your arguments as reasonable as possible, and to take them seriously, and see if there are any reasons we should object to those reasons. So please like, subscribe, comment, tag a friend so they can join this conversation. And that is it for our net neutrality series. Adios.